Have you ever stopped to think about what a company really is? I mean, it's more than just a brand or an office building, right? It's actually a powerful legal creation with its own identity and, you could say, its own superpowers. Today, we're going to dissect the legal DNA that turns a simple idea into a corporate giant. So let's dive right in. It seems kind of crazy that a tiny startup working out of a garage and a massive global corporation are, in the eyes of the law, built from the same stuff. They share the exact same fundamental DNA. Break down precisely what that is? So let's start where it all begins, right at the beginning, with the very first question that every single entrepreneur has to ask themselves. Yeah, this is the big one. You've got this amazing, game-changing idea. But an idea is just, well, it's just a thought until you give it a legal body, a structure that can actually own things, sign contracts, and grow all on its own. So how in the world do you breathe legal life into a concept? Well, in India, the modern-day instruction manual for this is the Companies Act of 2013. This whole thing was designed to really boost transparency, make people more accountable, and protect investors. This is the rule book that defines what a company is and how it has to play the game. Okay, this is where it gets really interesting. The law actually sees a company as an artificial legal person. Now, think about that for a second. It's not just a bunch of people working together. In the eyes of the law, it's an entity, all by itself. I mean, it can't breathe or eat, but it can own property, it can sign contracts, and it can even show up in court. And being a legal person gives a company some pretty incredible advantages, what I like to call its legal superpowers. Let's break down what they are. This is the big one, the absolute cornerstone of the whole idea. The company has its own life, totally separate from its owners. So if the company buys a new office building, the company owns it, not the shareholders. If it gets sued, the lawsuit is against the company, not you personally. This separation is the foundation for our next and maybe most important superpower. Ah, yes, the crucial financial shield. This is the one that lets entrepreneurs sleep at night. If the business, heaven forbid, fails and owes a ton of money, creditors can go after the company's assets, sure, but they can't touch your personal car or your house. Your risk is limited only to what you've invested. This is the very concept that fuels innovation and encourages people to take those big, calculated risks. And it doesn't stop there. There are a few other key features. Perpetual succession is a fancy way of saying the company can live forever, even if the founders leave or pass away. Shares can be bought and sold pretty easily, which allows for new owners and fresh cash. And of course, the company can go to court to protect its rights, and it can be taken to court in return. It's a whole structure built for stability and flexibility. But with great power comes great responsibility. That protective shield isn't absolute. There are definitely times when the law needs to peek behind that corporate curtain to see who's really pulling the levers. So, can that financial shield ever be broken? The answer is a resounding yes. The legal system has this powerful tool called piercing the corporate veil. It's definitely an exception to the rule, but it's a super important one that makes sure things stay fair. See, the courts can just decide to ignore the company's separate identity in certain situations. If people are using the company as a front to commit fraud, or dodge their taxes, or get out of their legal duties, a court can pierce that veil and hold the people behind it personally responsible. It's how the system stops the whole structure from being abused. So understanding all these superpowers is really key, because starting a company is just one of your options. Let's take a quick look at how it stacks up against some of the other common ways to structure a business. All right, let's compare a company to a traditional partnership. A company, as we've said, is its own legal thing, which gives you that limited liability shield. But in a partnership, you and the business are legally the same. That means you have unlimited liability. Your personal assets are on the line if the firm gets into debt. And that, right there, is a massive, massive difference in personal risk. Now, what about a limited liability partnership, or an LLP? This one is kind of like a hybrid. In some ways, it gives you the best of both worlds. You get the limited liability protection just like a company, but the management structure is way simpler. It's run by the partners, not a formal board of directors. The paperwork and compliance are also a bit lighter, which makes it a really popular choice for professional services firms. Okay, so you've weighed your options and you've decided a company structure is the right move for you. How does one of these things actually come to life? Let's look at the basic blueprint. The whole journey from just an idea to a real functioning company pretty much happens in 3 stages. First up is promotion. That's the phase where the idea gets developed and you pull all the resources together. Next is incorporation, which is the formal legal process of registering the company and officially bringing it into existence. And finally, you have commencement, which is basically getting the final green light to start doing business. And the person who gets this whole ball rolling is called the promoter. You can think of him as the architect of the company. This is the person, or maybe a group of people, who does all the initial legwork, fleshing out the idea, securing a name, drafting the really important documents, and just getting everything lined up for registration. Now, every company is built on two absolutely crucial documents. The first is the Memorandum of Association, or MOA. The best way to think about this is like the company's constitution. It lays out the company's boundaries and tells the whole world what the company was created to do, how much money it can raise, and where it operates. It's the company's public mission statement. And if the MOA is the constitution for the outside world, then the Articles of Association, or AOA, is the internal rule book. This document governs all the day-to-day stuff: how board meetings are supposed to run, how directors get appointed, what rights different shareholders have. It's basically the company's internal user manual. So let's just bring this all home. Creating a company isn't just about starting a business. It's about forging a completely separate legal entity. It's a powerful tool that's designed to protect its owners, to outlive them, and to grow in ways that other business structures just can't. And that leaves us with one final thought to chew on. This powerful corporate shield, it was designed to encourage bold moves in entrepreneurship. But where do we draw the line between encouraging game-changing innovation and enabling, well, reckless risk-taking? It's definitely something to think about. Thanks for tuning in.